Okay, hello everybody. My name is Jessica. I live in Vero Beach, Florida, and I am a wife. I am a tennis pro, and I'm a soon-to-be mom in 4 months. And I'm hosting this event with Stephanie and Mandy. And this event is sponsored by the Juice Plus company, and we'll share a little bit about that at the end. But we just want to thank you guys for being here with us. And we know it takes time and effort to be on a call, especially on a Sunday night. So we just want to say thank you for investing a small pocket of your time and just allowing us to speak and hear what we have to say. We really just want to give you guys value, and we hope that you all walk away with something tonight. So I'm going to introduce our first speaker. And so our first speaker is Mandy. This is super cool. I'm really excited to hear you talk. But Mandy is a birth and postpartum doula. She began her career after a difficult first labor and postpartum experience. Since then, she's had 2 natural births. I believe one is in the hospital and then one was a home water birth. I think that's correct. It's super cool. And then she's attended over 35 natural births. And she does, and views what she does as a calling and something she could never live without. So much passion in what she does. And Mandy also accompanies families in the postpartum journey, helping to make sure that they have happy, healthy, and safe postpartum experiences, focusing on sleep, hydration, and nutrition for mom and baby. So Mandy, I'm excited to hear you talk. Go away.
Wonderful.
Go for it.
So it's my understanding that we're talking about the health side of pregnancy and how all these different people are coming together to talk about those things. So a couple of the sides of doula world, birth, pregnancy, and the like that a lot of times is forgotten, in my opinion, is the emotional health and the mental hormonal side of our health that goes through the entire process with us as we journey through pregnancy and then labor and delivery, and then also postpartum. One of the biggest hormones that maybe a lot of you have heard of before, or maybe you've never heard of any hormones related to pregnancy, birth, and postpartum, but a big player is oxytocin. Oxytocin, I like to joke about, is the drug that got your baby in there, and it's the same drug that gets your baby out. It's the love drug, if you've heard of it that way. It is so powerful, and it's something that slowly grows in our systems over time until we hit, an optimal amount of hormones levels to be able to start moving forward in our labor. And then as soon as our baby is born, it astronomically shoots up even higher to give us this beautiful hormonal cocktail of love and bonding with our baby. And then after that, it goes even higher so that it tells our body to start pushing our milk through and connects us to our baby and gives us this instinctual desire to protect and bond with our baby forever. And it's something that our doctors don't monitor. It's something that is usually never brought up. And so as a doula, it's a pleasure of mine to be able to really think through how oxytocin plays out in your world and through your body during your pregnancy, birth, and postpartum. And it's something that I can really help to kind of foster and love in a place that is fed better for you. And I can help your husbands or your partners come alongside of you and help motivate that in you as well. But a huge other player in the hormonal game is adrenaline. The catecholamines that kind of come into our body when we feel fear, when we feel like we're scared, threatened, nervous, anxious, stressed, when we're unsure of what's happening, when we don't have the knowledge about our bodies and about what's going on, in really order to help encourage the feelings of safety and love that oxytocin really relies on. So as soon as adrenaline comes into our system, oxytocin is completely shut down. They can't cooperate in the body at the same time. What happens with adrenaline is the fight or flight. And so our blood goes to our fingers and our hands and our legs so that we can fight or run. And so doulas are there primarily for, so many different reasons. a lot of times people think natural labor is so doulas are there for coping and pain support. But I'm present at so many different types of labors. I'm present for cesareans, planned epidural births, attempted natural labors and deliveries. But at the end of the day, every single birth matters with this hormone, right? And it is needing to be fostered and cared for. And so I come alongside and I'm like, hey, are you feeling this fear? Do you want to talk about it? Do you want to cry about it? Do you want to vocalize it and get it out? You feel like you don't understand this. Like I can give that informational support and like really motivate that. I encourage a lot of moms to bring certain articles to their birth to help motivate this oxytocin release. And then of course, all the massage and the good like hands-on coping measures are really, really helpful for that as well. So that's most of the things I feel like. I know I have a really short time frame. I'm not sure how long I should be going. I could talk about birth for like days, but that's a huge part, I think, in the health section that means a lot to me. It's something that I care deeply about. And then the second side that I care very much about is the nutrition that comes in your postpartum after your baby is born. Of course, everyone goes through a phase of postpartum. Sometimes people think that if they have postpartum, they have postpartum depression. But that's not true. Everyone goes through postpartum. It lasts 1 year after your baby is born, and something that is essential for your healing and for your stabilizing of your hormones and of all the things that are changing in your body is your nutrition. So as a postpartum doula, I'm in your home, I'm taking care of you. I'm a specialist, but I'm a generalist. So I help make sure that the things in your home are running smoothly, but mostly I'm mothering the mother, making sure that you're fed and you're hydrated and that you've slept and that you've done one good thing for yourself today. And I usually always am making good, nutritious meals, quick snacks, one-handed snacks you can eat when you're breastfeeding, those kinds of things, when I'm in your home. So I could go on. Should I keep going? What is, I don't know, any questions, or where should I go?
Yeah, you can keep going for a couple more minutes. I think it's so fascinating. I love what you said about the hormonal cocktail with the oxytocin. I think that's such a cool visual. So like, are there any specific things that you do, like when a woman is in labor, like any exercises, anything that you recommend maybe that like moms to be right now should be focusing on, like maybe just preparing their body for labor, or anything that you can speak on to that?
Yeah, so doulas are mostly all trained in the same capacity. However, there's additional types of training that we can go through to learn more, of course, about birth and what happens during labor and how to go into the labor setting with a couple of things already lined up to help the process go more smoothly. For me, I took a training called Spinning Babies. It's starting to be a topic, or the name Spinning Babies is starting to be something that's pretty common household name when you are pregnant. But in the case that you're not heard of it before, Spinning Babies is a philosophy or physiology of birth. It's how you move forward with the birth process. And the way that I like to explain it, and the way that Gail Tully explains it, which is the founder and creator of Spinning Babies, is, you have this one world over here that's like, trust your body, trust your baby, just let it all happen, do that thing, and know that you can do this and you're made for this. And I totally agree with that side. And then of course there's another side, that's the medical side. And as helpful and as needed as they are very needed. A lot of times they use the tools that only they know or only have available in that setting, right? And not every medical professional is in line with the different types of ways that we can help the baby move through your pelvis and help line up the body. They're not chiropractors. They're not, holistically minded in that kind of a sense. So where do we bridge this gap? And I'd say that gap is Spinning Babies. Spinning Babies is a way to think, where is baby in the pelvis? Where am I in this labor? Where's my mentality? Where's my focus, and then how can we give baby more space, simply by just moving our bodies in different ways. And so I'll do a fun activity that I like to do with my clients when I'm on a video chat, to kind of explain. If you are sitting, you can put your knees together and kind of tuck your hands underneath of your bum and find those sits bones under there. It's the bones that, if your pelvis was sitting right there, the two little bones that stick out like this. If you were sitting on someone's lap, they would say, "Oh, your butt is so bony." So you find those, sit up nice and tall with your knees together, and then pay very good attention. If you slowly open your knees and close your feet, not necessarily close your feet, but just keep your knees open, what you'll find is your sits bones kind of rise up and go inside of your booty, and it feels like squishy hiney. Am I right? Do you feel it? I see a couple of you trying it. Yeah, it goes inside. It goes actually closed. Your sits bones close the bottom of your pelvis. Okay, so put your knees back together and keep your feet flat on the floor again. And this time, what I want you to do is roll your thighs inside of themselves. So keep your hands on those sits bones. Roll your thighs in so that the top of your thighs are trying to attempt to touch, right? So what you should have is closed knees and kind of pigeon toes on the other side. And what you'll notice is your sits bones kind of stay in your palms and also rotate out just a bit. What you're doing is kind of going like this with your pelvis. I should have a bony pelvis that I show you. But this is a simple way, like you can see with your own body how easily you can position your body to give different space in different areas of your pelvis. And so a lot of times we see moms pushing on their back with their legs way up over, their belly, and they're up in stirrups and their knees are wide apart. And a lot of times we hear, let's open our knees so that we can give room for baby. But actually, if you're looking at the bony pelvis structure, and if you are not necessarily on your back, you can close your knees together. It's called closed knee pushing. And you give your body and your baby about 30% more room to come through. So if there's a hang up in the exit process and we turn those knees in for closed knee pushing, this is a spinning babies technique. You can give baby more space and they can come out a little bit easier. So I have techniques like this for every phase of labor and delivery. One thing that I love the most is called body balancing. It's a process that you can do to help prepare your body to be lined up for baby before labor ever begins. But then it also encourages labor to move along as you're progressing through and making sure everything is kind of like that. So if for anybody who's listening, if you're pregnant and you're interested in that and you want to learn more, or if you in general want to talk to a doula, I'm super open. I love talking to everybody about birth and pregnancy and babies. Even if you're not pregnant, I do free consults for whoever is interested in just chatting about like, okay, tell me more about what doulas do and how they can like attend my birth, even if I want an epidural, those kinds of things. And I can say a lot more about spinning babies at a time like that. But for now, I think I'll stop there and share my turn.
Mandy, thank you. That was so awesome. I've actually heard somebody recommended spinning babies to me yesterday, and I never heard of it before. So I'm glad that you touched on that because I'm really excited to look that up. And then I love the closed knee pushing technique, right? That's what it was called. I think I took some notes.
Yes.
Yes, but I love just going through that exercise and getting to feel it and, just kind of see it for yourself. So I thought that was very helpful. Thank you so much. And we are going to pass it on over to Stephanie. So Stephanie is a labor and delivery nurse in Tampa, Florida. And she is also a wife and a soon-to-be mom. I believe she's due August 7th. So I'm excited to hear Stephanie share some of her knowledge with us. Stephanie, whenever you're ready.
Yes, I'm ready. Thank you for the intro. You are correct, August 7th. Or so they say. Babies have all their own plans. But Mandy, that was so awesome. I am a labor and delivery nurse, but I'm like the most holistic. I want everyone to be a natural birth. Labor and delivery nurse, I think possible on a high risk labor and delivery floor where all we do is induce people and force them into labor. So I love spinning babies. I love birthing balls. I love wireless monitors, all the things. So I love a good doula. I love when all the lights and candles are lit and the aromatherapy is going, all the things. So people come to me and ask like, oh my gosh, they want to do a natural birth. What do I do? I'm like, okay, well, that's normal. First of all, this is good. Women are meant to do this. So anyway, so that's a little bit about me. And I will just disclaimer, my husband's watching the NBA games downstairs and he tends to be a little loud. So if you hear screaming, that's all that's going on here. um, but yeah, so anyways, one of my passions starting out in nursing, I did not do labor and delivery in the beginning, but I found a passion for prevention and wellness through just doing adult nursing. And about 6 years ago, kind of really took on just the mindset of prevention and how can I help people before they get to the hospital. So obviously a lot of labor and delivery happens in the hospital and you're meant to be there. You're not sick. It's just you're coming there to birth if you're not going to a birthing center or staying home. And I feel like this passion for nutrition has increased, obviously, for myself who's pregnant, but just the thought of being able to educate moms and just explain to them the importance of nutrition as they're literally creating life within them. It's foundational down to the DNA and the cells of their child. And I've heard a quote before that I really liked. I always used to think like I cared more about my patients and their health and like prevention than they even cared. Like I literally would be in fights with people about like putting hot sauce on their dinners as they're in heart failure because they've ate too much salt. And we're like in a fight and I'm their nurse and I'm just like, why do I care more than you do? Like I'm trying to help you and you're mad at me. So I feel like I'm in a good space as far as where I belong with labor and delivery because moms and women care more about their health and nutrition, I feel like, when they're pregnant or wanting to be pregnant or postpartum and like trying to raise kids. And that's when you like kind of reevaluate your health too, because of course you want to be a healthy mom that's around for so many years for your kids. So I feel like I'm finally in a space where I'm like, this is all like connecting and I feel like it's all vibing for me. So, and then now I'm on my own journey. So it's super fun. I can finally say I have kids. People would always ask, and I'm like, no. And I was kind of like, don't think I don't know what I'm doing though, just because I don't have kids or I haven't birthed yet. So, anyways, that's a little bit about me, but I want to cover just some nutrition advice and topics throughout pregnancy. Like I said, even before pregnancy, pre-pregnancy, nutrition is just as important as during pregnancy nutrition because your nutrition will regulate your hormones. And obviously your hormones is what helps you get pregnant in the first place. So a big, I would say, topic that I can think of to just kind of start with, I don't know where people's levels are as far as nutrition and like macronutrients and things like that. I tend to be a little bit of like a science nerd with things. So I try to like take a step back and like take away my medical and mental knowledge that I have and like not necessarily dumb it down, but just start with the basics. So a good comparison for like someone's body is like, I like to think of like a car. So every food you eat has something called macronutrients in it. So that's your carbohydrates, your protein, and your fats. So every food, no matter what you're eating, has some sort of ratio of those, right? So if you're thinking of your macronutrients and if you're thinking of your body as a car, I guess the best like comparison could be that's like the gas to your car, right? Like you got to have gas to get from point A to B. You got to have some carbs, some protein, some fats every single day to like make it through, basically. But what people don't often know about or what's taught, when do we learn about nutrition ever, in schools or anything. Like that's not really a thing. I got one class in nursing school about it. I mean, that's crazy to me. But we forget about something called micronutrients. And for those of you that aren't familiar with them, it's like all the other things that really matter and you just kind of forget about. So think about with your car, it's the oil. You don't remember to get oil until you look at the little sticker that they give you on the date or the mileage. You don't remember like when you last got oil, or at least that's my case. So your micronutrients are kind of like the oil. Like you have to have oil to run your car. You have to have micronutrients to run your body, but it's like often forgot about. You don't really think about it. A lot of, I would say, diets or what, everyday people focus so much on protein, fat, and carbs, but they forget about the micronutrients, which is all of your vitamins and minerals from foods, right? So you have to think of all of these aspects when you're preparing for pregnancy or during your pregnancy or postpartum, breastfeeding. I honestly couldn't believe it. I just went to a breastfeeding class for work, but of course I was pumped about it because I just get paid to learn about it for myself, really. And it was a lactation consultant talking about, well, they always stress about nutrition after pregnancy and with breastfeeding, but like, honestly, whatever you're eating, like it's going to be fine. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like that was a huge area where you could say like nutrition is so important for breastfeeding, for helping your supply, for staying hydrated. Like, and it was just totally kind of like brushed over. And I was like, man, like, I don't know. A lot of times I just feel like nutrition is forgotten and it's such an important piece that people need to know. Oh yeah. Shelby's like, I know. I just had to sit quietly in the front. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that just happened, but here we are. But anyways, at the end of the day, there's literally nothing you can replace in your diet every single day that's going to give you the vitamins and minerals from than real food. Like there is no supplement, there is no prenatal vitamin, there is nothing that can replace real food. And I've really just done a lot of, kind of research for myself. Like I said, I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to science and food and all of the things. And I've done a lot of reading, and it really was just like, it's such a simple concept. Everyone agrees you should be eating healthier, but like no one really focuses on how to do it, or they just, OB doctors tell you take a prenatal. And it's like, okay, so I'm taking this to supplement for what I'm not getting in my diet. So if I just ate what I should in my diet, I wouldn't need to supplement, right? Like that makes sense. So even at my first OB visit, they're like, okay, like you're drinking water a gallon a day. Okay, cool. You're taking a prenatal. I'm like, I'm just eating food. So like, I don't need a prenatal, but yeah, I guess if that's what you want to call it. But, and then it was kind of done. So I feel like in every like kind of aspect, it just kind of is always breezed over. So I just want to like share with you guys how important it is to focus on your nutrition. And I'll say personally for me, I work 12-hour night shifts, and sometimes sitting down and eating this beautiful salad, not only during pregnancy, sometimes sounds terrible. I don't want spinach and all these fresh fruits and stuff. Some days I want it. Cravings are crazy. Nausea's crazy. I've been blessed with a good pregnancy, but you don't have time to eat a good variety and a whole ton of fruits, veggies, fresh things. It's expensive, all of these things. So, and that's what you need for your body. They all work together to, work well in your body together. Some complement others. When you eat certain things with other things, it works better in your body. I mean, there's so many reasons to just eat whole foods, real foods, nothing but that. You don't need processed things. You don't need, white flour and white sugar. You just need real food. And then you wouldn't need things like a prenatal. So personally for me, something that I've really been blessed to have known about prior to pregnancy, and honestly for the past like 5 years, as you might have heard in the beginning, Jessica said something called Juice Plus. And that's something I've just incorporated into my diet personally with pregnancy. I share it with a lot of friends and family, and all it is basically 30 fruits and vegetables. They are blended up, juiced. The water is taken out, the sugar is taken out. So there's no sugar in it, which is awesome for diabetics, especially diabetic moms that are pregnant. And then the powder is put into capsules. And it's a way to get a whole variety of fruits, veggies, and berries every single day in your diet. It's easy. They're in a handful. You can literally do it in 5 seconds. For me, that's great as a nurse. I don't have time a lot. I throw them back. And the best part about them, and like I've said before, I'm a nerd, is they are the most researched nutritional product that there is anywhere on the market. They have over 30 studies performed on them to just look at the benefits of them. And it's really the benefits of what does fruits, veggies, and berries every day in someone's diet do. And it's insane. Like, everyone should know about it. It's the easiest thing you can do. It is, all of the studies are like double-blinded, placebos. Like, this stuff is seriously legit. And like I said, it comes in capsules and it takes 5 seconds to take. So I've partnered with this company and in taking these for 5 years plus now. I mean, I'm happy to report I had no issues getting pregnant. I've had a healthy pregnancy. I know I'm blessed. There's a lot of things. I see tons and tons of complications and horrible things every single day when I go to work. But I know that these capsules have provided nutrition for me and my baby. And that's my story with them. And I'm sticking to it. But yeah, I would just encourage you all to really question things, really sit down and look and evaluate your personal choices. And I'm not saying I never don't eat unhealthy. Like, I've had cake and, plenty of things here and there throughout this pregnancy, because you go places, you're at parties, you're at life, barbecues, whatever. But like, I also every single day take concentrated 30 fruits and veggies, berries, and in my diet every single day. So like, I don't sweat some of the days where I'm like not as on my game, because every day I'm consistently getting that through these capsules. So that's just a little bit about me, my passion, where it lies, and just a little cheat for what I do every single day in my pregnancy.
Thank you, Steph. That was awesome. I love hearing you talk about your pregnancy. It's just so fun that we're pregnant at the same time. I love it.
Yes.
So we are going to hear from Amanda really quick. She's got a great story that she's going to share with us, and then we will close. So Amanda, whenever you're ready, go for it.
Hi, everyone. All of that was so good. Stephanie, I love what you said about like, sometimes you eat the cake or you're at a barbecue, but you don't stress about it because you're getting 30 plus nutrients from fruits, veggies, and berries every day. Like, it's just obviously life happens and cravings happen, and it's the way it is. But I have been involved with the Juice Plus company for, I think, 4 years with a minor hiatus. I've been involved with the business side for a while. I've been taking the products for a long time. Life just got really busy for me and I stopped. I moved and all this crazy stuff happened. I stopped taking the products for a little bit, and then I got pregnant, and I'm like in the first trimester, and I physically, like, my normal diet is veggies, salads. I eat very healthy regularly. I could not stomach the veggie. Like, I literally smelling steamed vegetables or hot veggies at all. Like, I could eat carrots. That was it. It made me nauseous. So I was like, there was no question in my mind. I was like, okay, it's not just about me anymore. It's about this baby that I'm growing. And I instantly reordered my Juice Plus. Like, that was the solution in my mind when I said, okay, I can't eat what I'm normally eating, but I need to do something for this baby because it's not just about me. So instantly ordered everything and restarted taking everything at the very beginning when I first found out I was pregnant, because it was just mentally so reassuring to me knowing that I was able to get all those nutrients in for my baby. And so it's just crazy. I have another friend that's pregnant. This is just another one of those crazy stories about the things doctors tell you that, like Stephanie said, question everything. So I told her, this is an option for you since you're not feeling very well. Like, this is what I do for me. And when she went to her doctor literally told her, it doesn't really matter if you eat healthy right now, just like as long as you're eating, you're fine. I'm like, yes, it does. This is like your first trimester is the most critical time for the development of your baby. And it does matter what you're eating right now, but they're going to let people don't question it. They say, oh, they're a doctor, they know. So I'm just going to go with that. And it's just crazy. So I feel extremely blessed for me to have these products, but more importantly for my baby, knowing that she's growing in there and getting all these fruits and vegetables and berries every single day. And I'm enjoying my occasional ice cream cone and whatever else, because I mean, I'm not one to hold back. Like if I have a craving, I'm going to I do make a great Juice Plus Complete chocolate shake that tastes like a Frosty from Wendy's. That is another thing that really helps a sweet tooth. And I'm sure all of the pregnant people get those late at night. So the frozen banana peanut butter Juice Plus Complete chocolate shake is epic and highly recommend it. But yeah, so that's just a little bit, I mean, even if you don't have to do anything other than have the products for yourself, that's all I'm doing right now. I share my story with people who ask me to, and it matters. Like it really does matter.
Amanda, thank you. I love how you and Stephanie just touched on life, because life happens, and oh yeah, the chocolate protein pudding every night is so good. But that's just the reality, life happens, nobody's perfect. So it's just peace of mind knowing that, when we do eat those capsules every single day, that we are getting that nutrition that we missed out on during that day. And then, our baby's getting that too. And then it's going into our breast milk. So one of the cool or common themes that we hear about women who are pregnant who eat Juice Plus is that when their babies are born, and the placenta comes out, it's super green because Juice Plus is bioavailable, which means that it's 100% absorbed in the bloodstream. And Stephanie, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because you know like how things work more medically than I do, but that placenta, I think, is made from those blood cells. I think so. So you just see this green thing coming out, and it's just so nutrient dense. And it's just really cool. I have a friend who told me about hers when she had her first baby, and I just thought that was the craziest thing. So I just want to thank you all for being on tonight. This may or may not resonate with you. This may or may not be a fit for you. We're just so glad that you're here. We really hope that you were able to take something away from this call to apply to your life or maybe share with somebody. And if you want to learn more from Mandy, our doula, or just connect with her, ask questions from her, please reach out to the person that invited you, and they'll be able to get you her contact information. And then if you guys want to know just more about nutrition, and if you know how important and vital that is, especially at this stage of pregnancy or getting ready to prepare for postpartum, maybe you know that you're not getting enough on a daily basis, we would just love to share more with you as well. And then if you want to hear more about our mission to inspire healthy living, we would love to share that with you. And if this is not for you, totally okay. Again, we're just so glad that you're here, and that you took the time to spend with us and to just hopefully empower you. So I want to say good night and thank you guys again for being here.